Did Fuzzer just go quickest? 28.0.
Yeah, 28.0, I believe that's the quickest that we've seen so far.
Good Ace has got some ground to make up here if he wants to start on the front row. What were his sector times like? So Good Ace is 3/10 up on his first sector alone. As he comes through the middle sector now, he is he's 3/10 up, so 6/10 in total up on his lap. So this is looking like a 28.5 at the moment. So he's got to find half a second in the last sector. Doesn't look like it's going to be quite enough from the Force India driver. And indeed, I don't think it was.
We've currently shown as P3 on the screen, but obviously, as we know, the race director is a little bit temperamental at the moment on this game. We'll just see if there's anybody else on flying laps. No, I believe that is qualifying over. So we shall run through the classifications as soon as it comes up, so we can obviously familiarise ourselves with where everybody's starting tonight. Maybe have a quick look at the grid positions and what tyres people are starting on, because we might have some real overachievers this evening, which will be great to see. Just waiting on, I believe it is Memo to retire from the session rather than letting the clock run down. So I think ones to watch out for this evening. Obviously you've got Good Aids, Fuzzer and Mr. Ice Cold Andy. Dobby is another one, but I would say particularly the two Ferrari drivers, Be Smooth and Sao Paulo. They might not have qualified particularly well tonight. No, they haven't, 10th and 11th, but they are ones to watch out for this evening. So if we run through the grid, we've got Fuzzer on pole with Good Aids in P2, so we did just about manage to get onto the front row. Carlsberry, last season champion, in 3rd place with Dobby. Again, another impressive qualifying performance in P4. Memo in P5 with Henry and Tekken, the Division 2 drivers, in 6th and 7th respectively. We've got Pub down in P8, which is very unlikely to see. NR in P9, Sao Paulo 10 and Be Smooth 11th, JW 12th, Andy down in 13th, Shone 14th, Pagani 15th, Funky 16th, Shay 17th, Geordie in 18th, and Lennon in P19. So we've got 19 drivers this evening, and after last night's turn 1, hopefully it doesn't replicate that, because there was a massive incident last night which cost a lot of people their races. So I shall hand over to Lego for the start of the race, as I do love the way that you start a race, my friend. I must be very honest.
Thank you very much.
So I shall hand over to you, my friend.
So we'll just wait for the cars to finish up their strategies, and then hopefully we'll be able to ride on board with one of the front runners for the start of this Bahrain Grand Prix. A time for us to all take a breather before the action begins.
The calm before the storm. I would imagine that we won't see too much wet weather tonight in Bahrain.
So here we go. 5 red lights. And we are underway here in Bahrain. It looks like Good Aids has got off to a fairly good start. Fuzzer blocking off the inside, but Good Aids is still going for it. And he's making the move, and Good Aids has taken the lead of the Grand Prix in the first corner. He's gone a bit wide at turn 2, and it looks like the Williams has got in front. He has indeed. And I believe that is Carlsberry who's got into the lead. Indeed it is, with Good Aids just behind him, and Fuzzer dropping all the way down to 3rd. Dobby defending a move there from Henry in P5, who's had a great start. P6, I believe, is... Oh, it's Henry now, and one of the Haas cars going side by side through this tight and twisty section. Now the two Haas cars following each other in 7th and 8th, and there's a Red Bull off in the background. I'm not sure who that was, but one of the Red Bulls went flying off there on my screen. I'm not sure if that was just lag. Maybe was. There's a couple of guys falling off. Geordie, one of those, and Be Smooth right at the back in the Ferrari. There's another car going wide, a Toro Rosso coming out of turn 10. Carlsberry still leads for Good Aids.
Mr. Ice Cold Andy was forced slightly off the road there by Shayo, who's in the Mercedes. I think it was just a bit of a misjudgment on the braking, as we see 3 of them going side by side through the windy part of the end of sector 2, as Shay lifts off and gives up the position very sensibly. So let's ride back on board with the leaders.
Looks like there's a sort of top 4 train going on here with Henry and Pub not far behind those. Memo's got a McLaren right behind him with NR. And he is tucked right in behind the Sauber, and he's making a move by the looks of it. And the McLaren seems to have a little bit of lag as they go down into turn 1. And the McLaren is fighting side by side with the Sauber, who forces the McLaren off. And JW making a move now. Does he have the straight line speed? Indeed he does, and he completes the move. JW up into 8th place already.
Nice, and he's on the medium tyres as well. Something
yep, doing a great job so far.
He is indeed. So at this early stage of the race, we will have a quick run through the field as they currently stand. Carsberry, who's made up a couple of places, got himself into P1 on the super soft tyre. We've got good aids in P2, who had an excellent start, but just got picked by Carl. I think it was a bit of an unexpected move from him there. Got Fuzzer in P3, who's dropped down a couple of places, with Dobby hot on his tail in P4 in the Sauber. We've got Henry, who's had a good start in the Haas, who's up to P5 with his teammate Pub in P6. So both Haas drivers have had pretty good starts. Memo in P7, just about a second off of
he's
Pub.
Dropping right off the back of these guys in front of him as well as he runs wide again there, and it's really going to be starting to cause a train from 7th downwards, I reckon, now.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we've got JW at 8th on the mediums, who's had a fantastic start with NR hot on his tail in P9. As you see, Pagani and Mr. Ice Cold Andy.
Sao Paulo making a move here on the Williams of, I believe that's Tekken, it is, and he's through. The Ferrari is past the Williams fairly easily into the last corner. Is Tekken going to come back at him?
We've got NR coming into the pits.
And Tekken's back through. So the Williams has got, or has he? Oh, the Ferrari's very defensive. He's made the move stick. Tekken was very cautious there, through that, and there's a Renault going wide and in the wall. And yeah, there is a Renault. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Lost it coming out of turn 3 and straight into the wall. And there is a VSC.
So we will just have a really quick run through the field again. Won't obviously announce it, but just to see if there's anything too close going on. Once the virtual safety car ends, I would assume there'll be some over-ambitious moves going on.
Yeah, Memo's dropped right back as well now, as I was saying. Just not got the pace by the looks of things. JW right behind him. He couldn't be much closer if he tried.
Yeah, you see, Memo is a funny one because he's, on his day, he's got bags of pace and he's capable of winning races, but on tonight's evidence, obviously it's not much to go by, but with Memo, he can, he's a very quick driver, but again, he's, as I've mentioned before, I think in both streams so far this season, he can be a bit back-end happy, he can be a bit over-ambitious at times, and I think that's what costs him. Oh dear, there's a retirement there from TUF Shay.
As the VSC is in.
Yeah, as Mr. Ice.
Oh, Memo's in the pits. Memo is making an early pit stop. So that promotes JW into 7th position now. And there's a Toro Rosso going very defensive down into turn 1.
And it looks like Fuzzer's got past good aids.
Mr. Ice Cold Andy's struggling by the looks of things. He's gone very wide into turn 1. And he's just let the Ferrari of Sao Paulo past.
Yeah, there was a collision between Mr. Ice Cold Andy and Shea, which caused Shea
yes, the front left of his wing isn't there. So it's interesting he hasn't pitted there, because that was before the pit lane entry, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was before the final corner.
So he has definitely made an error there by not pitting. As you can see, the front left of that wing is non-existent, and he's lost another 2 positions as he clips the McLaren into turn 10. His teammate now stuck behind him. And Mr. Ice Cold Andy, is just not going well for him already today. Poor qualifying, and he's holding his teammate up now. So he goes wide again into turn 10, trying to let everyone past. Pagani's back on his way with a new front wing. Oh, and Fuzz has got past good aids. So Fuzz has made a move, and we've missed that one. Fuzzer in the Mercedes up to 2nd place now.
I've just seen some yellow flags there. Oh, yeah, they just drove past Shay's car. Unfortunately parked in the wall on the side of the road. I'm sure he's going to be very disappointed with that.
2 Haas cars very running very close together here. Very, very close indeed. Probably a car length or two between them. As we see Henry, is he going to make a move on Pub? No, he's nice and early on the brakes. Doesn't want to damage his car or anything silly at this point of the race. Only 5 laps in, 25 to go.
Yeah, we saw Henry had an unfortunate race in Division 2 last night. He got caught up in a collision with myself on the turn 2/turn 3 part of the track on the first lap.
Oh, there's a...
It compromised both our positions.
So is that Sheo in the Mercedes in the wall at the last corner?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Oh, Mr. Ice Cold Andy's gone.
He's going to be very disappointed with that, but good news for the front runners. That's one of what would have been the main threats, I would say. Obviously, maybe not too much this evening, but again, he's going to miss out on some very valuable points and find himself at least a good 65 to 70 points off the leaders.
Yeah, just a quick one. TF Pub has got past his teammate Henry, so the two Haas drivers switching positions somewhere during that lap.
Yeah, Pub's had quite a good start. I mean, he would have been disappointed with his qualifying session. Again, this is the guy that won the 100% championship last year, so we know he's got pace. Not quite mirrored it as much on this game so far, but I think he's slowly but surely adjusting himself as they see the two Haas drivers are slightly closing up on the leaders. He's about 4.5 seconds off at this point, Pub. As we'll just see if there's been any further progress inside the top 4. They look fairly spread out. DRS active, but I can't see too many moves being made too soon unless there are some mistakes. I was actually speaking about this a couple of nights ago, Lego, the difference between the current front three, Carlsberry, Fuzzer and Good Aids, and obviously with Dobby as well, he's shown some good pace, but the difference is between those two, if you come to sort of outright pace and even consistency around the track, I'd probably say Good Aids is probably the most consistent with hitting his apexes and not making too many mistakes, but Fuzzer and Carl maybe have slightly more pace by kind of fractions. The only way that there's going to be passes between those three, if there really is just the ever so slightest of mistakes, that's the kind of margins that we do talk with these guys.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see a couple of undercut moves being made as well. As Memo's put on the medium tyres from his pit stop on end of lap 4, he's back out in P14. Ow! Okay, this could make things interesting.
They have a safety car.
So Memo is going to benefit massively from this because he's on the hardest tyre we have available, which is the mediums. And now a full course safety car is going to bring them all together. It would not surprise me at all to see some pit stops and a lot of one-stop drivers reverting to a two-stop strategy now.
Exactly, it's going to benefit NR as well, and even Pagani. Pagani's just come into the pits to fit on some mediums, so he's made his second pit stop, but maybe it's not really a bad call considering the issues that he's had, and now with the safety car out, it will hopefully enable Pagani to make up some positions on the restart. He's currently in last position.
First, second, third and fourth all in the pits. Along with Pub from 6th. So Henry I don't think is pitted. Henry stayed out, so Henry takes the lead of the Grand Prix. He's still out on old super softs though.
Interesting move from Henry there. Not too sure why he stayed out.
Considering he was right behind his teammate as well, he probably would have got held up. As one of the Saubers, I believe, has been jumped by a Haas car. Just wait to confirm who that is.
Was it Dobby and Pub?
I think it was. And has he got out in front or not here? It's very tricky with so many cars. Oh, he hasn't. Okay. So he must have got out just in front.
Good Aids as well.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah, so Good Aids has lost out massively there because he was running around in 3rd, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on 2nd and then he lost out to Fuzzer.
Yep, so he's down 2 positions after the pit stop.
Yeah, so we'll just quickly jump on board with the race director.
Dobby's down to 6th as well, so who gained big time out of that one?
Well, Henry obviously passed him because he didn't pit, and then Pub got past Dobby and Dobby was in 4th, so the two Haas drivers have got past. So Henry will obviously be at a disadvantage now because he hasn't pitted.
Oh, Carlsberry's lost the position to Fuzzer. That was the other one. So the lead has now switched between those two.
It's shaping up to be quite an exciting one now, especially after the safety car.
Yep,
hopefully there's not too many incidents afterwards.
Yeah,
that could really mix things up.
Wait for them all to bunch up behind the safety car. It'll be a couple of laps before the safety car is in. Don't think anyone's on the super softs at the moment. We'll have a little check. Apart from Henry, everyone is on softs or medium tyres. Only 3 cars in the top 10 on mediums.
Through the field?
Yeah, we've got Henry in P1 yet to stop. He's on the super soft tyres. Fuzzer P2, he's made a stop. He's on the soft tyres. Carlsberry P3, he's on the medium tyres, so slightly different strategy going on there. Pub in 4th place. He's had a good race so far. He's started down in 8th place, I believe. As and Henry's pitting, and he's going to lose a lot of positions now. So that means Fuzzer's first, Carlsberry second, Pub up into 3rd now, Gooday's 4th, Dobby 5th, Sao Paulo in 6th, JW on the softs as well in 7th, so all of those on the softs apart from Carlsberry. Memo and Steffo on, or Steffo, 8th and 9th on the mediums. 10th is Shown in 10th, and Tekken in 11th, Geordie in 12th on the mediums. 13th, first of the 2 stoppers, is NR, and Henry unfortunately has fallen all the way down to 14th place. Pagani, BS Smooth, Funky, all on the medium tyres at the back of the running order.
Fantastic. Well, I've just actually noticed NR pitted on lap 4, I believe, and he put on some medium tyres, and he's now pitted again under the safety car and gone on to super soft tyres.
That is interesting. Where is Memo at the moment? So Memo's 8th, so he's not really gained from that safety car, because obviously he pitted lap 4 for the medium tyres, and he's actually dropped position, so that's really backfired on him, making that early pit stop, unfortunately for the Sauber driver. The front guys, however, this has benefited them hugely.
Received word from TUF Shay. Unfortunately, by the sounds of things, under the VSC, I think Andy was going a little bit too quickly and had to
I believe safety car is in this lap. Sorry to interrupt you, but the safety car looks like it's in this lap.
Yeah, so basically Shay was running on his delta, and Andy was obviously running a bit too high, slammed on his brakes. And I believe that's what caused Shay to run straight into the back of him.
We've lost
the session, obviously a lag issue.
So we'll ride on board with Fuzzer, not Funky, sorry. Funky's up the other end of the field. When is he going to go? He's got the Williams right behind him on the harder tyres though, so Fuzzer's really got to try and pull a gap now. And we're off, we're back racing.
Fuzzer's had a great restart.
He's had a fantastic restart, and he's pulled a second to Carlsberry already on the restart. Caught the Williams driver napping. Pub taking a very defensive line from Good Aids, who's not really close to him. Any moves being made? Steffo's up the inside of Sean, and he's got the move back. So the Renault driver looked to be losing the position to the McLaren there, and now Tekken's having a go up the inside of the McLaren into turn 4. And is he going to make it stick? No, he's not. So he's... Oh no, he is. He's in front of the McLaren now. So Tekken with a good move there. Clean move down the inside of the McLaren. A little bit wide coming out of turn 7. But other than that, a very clean restart actually. As Dobby's coming under pressure now from Sao Paulo.
Yeah, Sao Paulo. I would imagine Sao Paulo will have a good finish tonight. I think he finds himself second in the championship at the moment after I believe it's a 5th and a 4th place finish. So not the best results for Sal, but he's had 2 fairly consistent finishes towards the top end of the order.
Yeah, he's got a much better line through this middle sector than Dobby in front of him.
Yeah, he's really sticking to the back. You can see how well his car is just gripping to the circuit as Dobby loses a little bit. Is there a couple of moves going on in the background? I think Memo's under a bit of pressure by the looks of things. Yeah, he's under pressure from Shone there, who is on the softer tyre compared to Memo, who's diving up the inside of Memo, coming down the home straight. We'll ride on board. And Shone just not quite close enough, so Memo had good straight line speed there. And a very good exit out of turn 1, which I think has saved his position there for the time being.
Henry making progress on those fresh mediums. He's up into 11th place now behind Tekken. He was running around with his teammate Pub. So look at the difference. They were right behind each other running, I think it was 5th and 6th or 6th and 7th, and now they're 3rd and 11th. So it's one of them, it's definitely worked, and the other one, it's completely backfired. It's Henry's, almost lost it coming out of the hairpin at turn 8. He's lost a lot of ground to Tekken. Oh, Tekken's gone wide!
Tekken's gone wide. I can see it coming through the background. Henry had a bit of a wobble there.
Yep, Henry's through though. He is past Tekken. Oh, Tekken's having a look up the inside though. Nope, he's gonna hold position for now.
Yeah, just looking back towards the leaders, Fuzzer has had an amazing restart. He's nearly 3 seconds ahead of Carl.
Yep,
there's a bit of a train forming behind.
Yeah, he needs that gap as well, because obviously Carl on those harder tyres, the worst scenario for Fuzzer is not being able to pull away, but he's making easy work of that, that's for sure. As the gap as they cross the line is 2.8 seconds, so Carl definitely dropping back. This is good for Fuzzer at this point, because obviously he's got to run either the mediums later on or another set of softs, whereas Carlsberry can just go straight onto the softs, or maybe even super softs we might see at this stage. Who knows, he may even run the one stop, so that may be his one and only stop, but that would be a tall order, I'd have to say.
So I'm going to throw a bit of a wobbly question to you, and ask you at this stage, given strategies and the pace that we've seen already, could you possibly name what you think would be the podium this evening? I know it's a bit of a tough ask. Have you got any early ideas? Who you think? Not
even halfway through the race, but Fuzzer does look strong here at the moment, and considering he's got that gap to Carl, which is it's actually coming down a little bit at the moment, so obviously having to maybe save a little bit of fuel at this stage. Oh, Carlsberry's going slow. Have we got another VSC?
Not that I can see.
Very slow. Everyone's coasting through the middle sector.
Not too sure. Nothing's displaying on the screen. Oh, yellow flags are waving in the background. Yeah, there must be.
There must be a virtual safety car off full course, because everyone's going very slowly. Try and catch a glimpse of some. Oh, safety car. So there is a safety car that's been deployed. I just saw on one of the boards. So another safety car. And Fuzzer's taking full advantage of that. He's going to pit, so he could go mediums to the end here. We'll see what he does. Carl, meanwhile, stays out. Good 8 is also in the pit. I think it's one of the Toroses behind. No, it's the Sauer of Dobby. Sao Paulo follows him in. Schoen following those two guys in as well. This is going to promote a lot of the back markers up into point scoring positions now. So Carl now leads the race from Pub, who started all the way down in 8th place, I do believe.
This is going to be a very interesting second part of this race, because as you say, there's some of the back markers of this race respectively going to be promoting themselves up towards the top end of the grid. Now this is where whoever wins this race, or whoever achieves a podium in this race, will be showing their ability, because if they can get past the back markers and have a good second half of this race, they would have well and truly earned that. Well, actually earn their position come the end of the race. Absolutely,
they're going to have to fight like crazy. And it's funny to think, just a lap ago you were asking me who was going to win this race, or who the top 3 was going to be. That's completely changed now. So JW up into 3rd position, but he's got softs on, so he's made another stop somewhere. But this race is really starting to heat up, as Henry's now P5 again. So this second safety car has really helped him. The Haas car is now running 2nd and 5th. So brilliant for them at the moment. Pagani back up into P8. He lost his front wing coming out of turn 3. What a brilliant effort from him. Steffo in front of him as well, also on the mediums. This is going to be a very interesting race, because a lot of guys that aren't necessarily top 5 quality are on the slower tyres, so that means they're going to be even more off the pace, unfortunately for them. Carlsberry, of course, one of the front runners on those medium tyres. Pub on the soft tyres, JW also on the soft tyres, but behind them it's Memo, Henry also on the mediums, and then it's Tekken on the softs, Steffo, Geordie, Pagani as well, and even behind him, Funky and Fuzzer on the medium. So a lot of cars running the mediums at the moment.
Just a bit of a strange question. I mean, we've seen that a lot of the guys, people like Pub and JW, have not made the effort to pit during this safety car. Maybe they're wondering whether there's going to be another one. I'm not too sure what brought this one out. Maybe it was a bit of a slight glitch due to the one earlier on. I'm not too sure.
Yes.
But just thinking about it, some of the guys now that didn't take advantage of that could have gone onto the mediums and finished the race, which is what I would have expected a lot of the guys to do. Now, the people like Fuzzer and Good Aids and Shone, etc., that did take advantage of that and put on the medium tyres will be well aware that there is obviously going to be a restart. They're going to be extremely close to the front runners, knowing that these guys are going to have to pit again. So this is really throwing it wide open. I'm really surprised at the amount of people that did not pit for this safety car. If there isn't another one, this could be a really strange end to the race in terms of points and positions. Of
course, yeah, but obviously most of these guys have put mediums on, but Carl, having pitted earlier, what lap did he actually pit for his mediums? He pitted at the end of lap 6, so he's gonna have to do, what's that, 23 laps or so on those mediums, mind you, 6 under safety car, so we'll say probably what, 17 laps, 18 laps worth of wear, which the mediums can do quite easily, I would expect. But whether he can hold off the drivers like Pub and JW is yet to be seen. But I have to say, eyes on Fuzzer and Good Aids, and indeed Dobby, Sao Paulo even from the restart. So those four have got a lot of work to do, because these cars in front of them are not going to give up these point scoring positions easily.
No, this is going to be really interesting, because like I said to you, people like Pub and JW, as I think the safety car's going to be coming in at the end of this lap, as we see Carl slowing the field right down. It's going to be very interesting, because people like JW and Pub will 100% have to make another stop. So yeah. Could that compromise their position coming into the race? Could we see them down towards the bottom end of the points, and we could get some guys that could really be in with a shout, some decent points here tonight? This is going to be really interesting come the end of the race.
Here we go.
I believe we're starting.
Cosbury gets a clean enough getaway. Don't think there's going to be any moves made up the front. It's down the back we've got to look out for. So one of the Red Bulls having a look up the inside of the Renault. No, not quite. But yeah, these the two guys in second and third, so that's JW and Pub, they've got a lot of early work to do here. If they don't pull those gaps they need, then they're going to struggle towards the end of the race. They're going to be right down at the back, so they've got to get a move on quickly, and Carlsberry in front is not going to let them pass very easily, as we see Pub right up the rear diffuser of Carlsberry here. He's so close.
Oh, as we see Good Age just forced off the side of the track there by Geordie. And now Sao Paulo's having a look up the inside, who's got past Dobby. Yeah, Good Aids has made it stick, but that was a bit naughty from Geordie there. He seemed to just push Good Aids off the side of the track, as Good Aids gets a good exit as Geordie locks up.
TUF couldn't be closer. There's a touch between Pub and JW. They so close to the back of Carlsbury now. We might see a move here down into the... No, he's holding position for now, is Pub.
I think Pub's going to get him here.
Oh, I thought he was pitting then, Carlsbury.
Yeah, so did I.
That was a late move. But nonetheless, it does give the Haas... Oh, did it give DRS or not? Is it not enabled yet because of the safety car?
I'm not too sure. I was riding on board with Pub and I didn't see DRS get enabled.
I thought I saw the DRS open, but that may just be me. As he tucked right in behind the Williams yet again. He's not got the straight line speed. He's going to have to stick behind him for this middle sector, or the most of it anyway, until the DRS section.
One of Pub's main strengths, and this was again proved last season, one of Pub's main strengths is his cornering and his exits from corners.
Oh, he's gone for the move up to the inside, and that's a great move. That is a great move. Is he going to make it stick though?
Hold it on the inside, side by side. Carl's got the position back.
That is fantastic racing from these two. Brilliant. Oh, Pagani's
Pagani
gone.
retired from the session.
That is a shame because
He's not had a good start.
he was running in the points. But great racing from Carlsberg there. Very aggressive with keeping that position, which is what we want to see. Don't want to see them losing positions easily. So he is short shifting at the moment to try and save fuel by the looks of it, as he's got a little bit wide in the move up the inside again from Pub, and this time he's going to make it stick. Oh, and JW with a bit of lag there. Is he going to get past the Williams?
This could be bad news for Carl, as Carl goes very defensive and JW tucks in behind.
He's run wide as well, and JW, is he going to get past? Not yet. And there's a few cars behind them lining up as well. There's more yellow flags down into turn 1.
Tekken and Henry going side by side into turn 1.
As you can see there, the Renault of Pagani.
Tekken outbrakes him. Is he going to touch? Ooh.
That could have been a lot worse, but I think he's got away without any damage at this stage.
Good driving from Henry there, I must say. He kept his nerve. He didn't overcommit. He was obviously well aware of Tekken next to him, but he stuck to his line and it paid dividends for him, so well done, Henry. Finds himself in P5. So earlier on, after we thought that he'd ruined his race, he's actually on course for a very good finish here.
Yeah, done brilliantly so far. As we see JW all over the back of Carlsberg still. I have to say Carlsberg just doesn't look like he's got the pace at the moment. As one of the Saubers. Oh, we've okay, right. So unless this is through people actually crashing out, because of course we had a DNF a moment ago with Pagani's, one of the Renaults going off there, but it does look like the safety car might be a little bit glitched.
Yeah, it seems to be every 3 laps at the moment. 3 or 4 laps, I think. So, yeah, this could be quite a stop-start for us this evening. But again, it's going to be very interesting because people are going to recognise this. But equally, if I was one of the drivers on track, I'd be thinking to myself, could this be the last one? Because then who's then going to take advantage of the pit stop and who isn't? Because some people are going to not pit because they're going to think there's going to be another one, but then other people are going to possibly take the risk, like JW, as we've seen.
Yep, and once again Carlsberg retakes the lead.
Wow, this is going to be a very strange end to the race. I think we could see a really random winner here this evening. I really can't put my money on who I think it's going to be. It's really going to come down to who's got the biggest nerve, to be honest.
Well, Good Aids is back up into 4th now, so that's really jumbled the running up yet again. Dobby's in 6th.
Well, once everyone's taken their positions on track, I will run through the field and see how everyone's going. I think
well, Pub's gone from 1st to 10th, so it's all going back to front today. Fuzz is back up into 3rd now. Henry's back up into 2nd. This really is a very interesting race at the moment.
Wow. One thing about Carl as well, he's quite famous that he's a bit too close sometimes under the safety car. He normally gets very, very close to the safety car, and a couple of times he's got a bit of wing damage from it, and he's compromised a couple of the guys behind him. So hopefully he doesn't do anything silly this evening, because Carl is a very, very good racer, but he is prone to a bit of a mistake. So let's hope nothing silly is done. Yeah,
definitely. As I can see from what you were saying, especially as well, he is very close to the rear end of the safety car. There can't be more than a car length between the safety car and himself, and you know, that's not going to help him at all, especially if the safety car is suddenly going to brake, because it has to brake much earlier than these F1 cars, of course. And like you said, it's cost him in the past, so I'm surprised it's you know, still a trait that lingers you know, with him, because it is a very risky thing to do, and it's not beneficial either, so it's a very interesting tactic.
Just a thought on Carl, actually. Obviously he pitted very early for the medium tyres, and as we mentioned, obviously running in lean under the safety car for a couple of laps on a more consistent basis. Could he actually take these medium tyres to the end of the race?
Yeah, that's a great point as well you made about running lean, is that any of these drivers that have overfueled, they're in a horrible position now, because they're going to be so overfueled that they're just going to be way too heavy. So anyone running lean in the first safety car, because they were low on fuel, is going to now be overfueled at this stage, even if they're running in rich, because they can't be, you know, racing full throttle. And we could see a few, you know, guys not only running rich under safety car, but really trying to burn off as much fuel as possible, because it looks like Carl was trying to save fuel at the end of that last safety car stint. And obviously having another safety car now, if he's running lean, he's going to be so overfueled and so heavy, which isn't going to help his tyre wear either.
Not at all. Just if the safety car is glitching, there does seem to be a sort of repetitiveness to it. By calculations, really, we could see another 2 safety cars should this continue. Hopefully it doesn't, because we obviously want to see as much racing as possible, rather than it kind of being a bit stop-start. But yeah, this could be extremely interesting. Who is going to make the plunge to go into the pits and change their tyres and gamble on no more safety cars, and who is going to stay out and believe that there will be, because this is really going to be interesting come the end of the race. I'll take this opportunity now to have a quick run through the field, just so we know where everyone stands. We've got Carlsberry in P1, we've got Henry, who's come all the way back up to P2, Fuzzer is coming to P3 with Good Age closing up behind him in P4. Sao Paulo in the back of them in Ferrari is in P5. We've got past Dobby earlier on before the safety car came out for the second time in the race. So Dobby's in P6. We've got Shown up in P7 with Be Smooth in 8th. Geordie having a good race. He's currently in P9. Let's hopefully he can get some points this evening. With Pub all the way down in P10, as you mentioned earlier on, who is on the soft tyres, followed by JW, who has followed him on the softs in P11. We have Memo, who's back down in P12. Tekken in 13th.
Safety car in this lap.
Funky, safety car's in. Funky down in 14th. Lennon is in P15. And NR at the back of the grid in P16.
Oh, there's contact between the front two. Carlsberg was very late on acceleration. I think Henry may have got damage off of that. But there is going to be a number of moves being made into turn 1.
As we're seeing, wow, there's so many cars going side by side.
One of the Saubers was a big lock up from one of the Toro Rossos there further back, and one of the Mercedes is wide, one of the Ferraris is wide. JW fighting down in P11 as he's all over the place with his lag. So many cars changing positions there.
And interestingly, Good Age has got past Fuzzer on the restart.
That's a great. Now
having a look.
Yeah, that's a massive benefit for him now, having Fuzzer behind him. But it looks like Carlsberg at the moment is got the wise head on, because actually, where is Carlsberg?
Carlsberg is in P2.
So he did lose the lead to Henry. So yeah, but at the moment, if he stays out and doesn't pit, he could be in a very good position here. Obviously Henry on fresher mediums, but if another safety car comes out, is Henry going to take the bait? Is he going to pit again, or is he going to hold his position from Carl?
Well, this, by the immediate restart of the safety car, Good Age looks like he's got the pace to be catching up to the front two, but also pulling away slightly from Fuzz. I know the gap obviously isn't massive as it stands, but he's got a bit of a gap to Fuzz already. So Good Age looking like he's got some good pace on those medium tyres. Sao Paulo will be looking to get past Fuzzer as quickly as possible. Geordie's had a fantastic restart from P9 up to P6. So he's got past Shown and Be Smooth, as Pub's taken a couple of places as well. Just down board with the back of the field.
Oh, a massive dive bomb there from Pub. How on earth he got away with that, I will never know. One of the Renaults cutting turn 3 quite significantly. That was a very aggressive dive bomb from Pub. I was very surprised to see that, I have to say. He's actually lost out massively here. There's a gaggle of cars fighting for P6 at the moment. Memo was hitting the back of Pub. Pub going for the move up the inside of Geordie. Another lock up from him as they bang wheels going through turn 8. And
yeah, Pub's driving very aggressively at the moment.
Yeah, very aggressive. And he was P8 on the first lap of the restart, went for a move up into P5, and he's found himself back down in P9 because of it. So his aggressive driving isn't necessarily proving fruitful at the moment, as he's now stuck behind. Is that Memo he's stuck behind? No, it's his teammate Dobby that he's stuck behind. So the two Saubers sandwiching the house driver.
Yeah, just as we expected, Good Age has really closed the gap on Carl now, and maintained the gap to Fuzzer behind him. So Good Age looks like he's going to be pushing here.
Looks like a
Obviously
three-horse
on
race
tyres than Carl.
for the front
Yeah,
to
does
me.
indeed.
Because Henry, not necessarily with the quickest pace, but he's got fresher tyres.
Has indeed. I think, to be honest, if there's no more safety cars, this will be between these front five, and I would expect Carl to finish off at the back of that purely on the fact that he's on older tyres. So yeah, this could be very interesting. I would possibly tip the guys that are in third, fourth and fifth for the podium here, Good Age, Fuzzer and Sao Paulo. That would be my immediate guess, should there be no more issues with safety cars and stuff like that. That would be my immediate guess.
Yeah, Sharon as well has had a really good race. Because he's up into P6 at the moment. He is on the soft tyres though, that is the only problem. Now I don't want to jinx it, but we've not had a safety car yet. So, things may be looking up for the fact that it wasn't a glitch and it was just because people... Oh, no, I did jinx it. I spoke way too soon, didn't I? And we have another safety car as Geordie retires. Oh, dear.
What was the implementation? Did he crash out? Or did he retire before the safety car?
That is a very good point. So, whether he
It
has
could
actually
be
retired and
Geordie.
bought out a safety car, then yeah, that is a very good point. I guess we could ask him after the race. Oh, Fuzz is disconnected.
Fuzzer's left the session.
That could
Well,
be
it couldn't have been a better
huge.
time, really.
That
It's
could
not-
be huge.
It could be, but it might not necessarily be the worst time to disconnect, as Carl is coming into the pits.
Oh wow, so that's going to be a big loss of positions then. As the Ferrari of Sao Paulo pits, Fuzzer's AI stays out for now. He's still in fourth. Good Aids didn't pit, neither did any of the top three. Fuzz is back in, that's good to see. As the Ferrari of Sao Paulo is still trying to get past his AI car. Bit cheeky there from him. Showen's still in P6. Memo back up to 7th. And then there's a little bit of a gap back to Pub. JW back down in 9th, so he was in 3rd at one point. That's really backfired. His teammate behind him in 10th. Dobby now P11, he's put on super softs. So Dobby going to go very aggressive towards the end here. And Be Smooth in 12th position. Followed by Tekken in P13, P14 Steffo. And then the disconnected NR in P15, who's been running around as an AI for some laps now.
Well, looking at safety cars, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out whether it was actually glitched or not, because the first one, I believe we've had 3, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe we've had 3 safety cars so far. The first one was brought on by Shay's retirement, the second was very shortly after Pagani's, and now this one was around the time that Geordie retired. Now, it'll just be very... I'm keen to know whether it was brought on because Geordie crashed out, or whether it was just a glitch and Geordie just conveniently happened to retire at the same time. So it could be glitched, it could not be. So I'm just trying to figure out, but I wouldn't imagine that we'll see another one now, given it be a couple of laps it will come out for, and the safety car won't come out in the final couple of laps of the race. So this should be the last time that we see a safety car today, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully so, because of course it is massively affecting these guys' races. All they want to do, you know, is race as fast as they can. They don't want to sit behind a safety car doing, you know, 10-second a lap slower lap times, because that's just not representative of what these guys can do. At the end of the day, you can't overtake, you can't race behind the safety car, and you know, sitting behind a safety car for what is going to be almost half the race by the end of this safety car it's just not, you know, enjoyable for the drivers and us as commentators as well. You know, it's very drawn out, it's quite a long process behind the safety car. So yeah, it's not the most enjoyable of races for driver or commentator at this point, but it has been good
Certainly.
up to this point, definitely.
As indeed. I think looking at it now, I would say it'll probably be the final 5 laps. I think the safety car may maybe do one more, but either way it's going to be 5 or 6 laps maximum towards the end of the race now, where all the cars will be very close together. There'll be a lot of people keen for moves, but one thing we haven't spoken about yet is, given how close these cars are going to be at the end of the race, penalties. If anyone's got penalties, that could really compromise their finishing position.
Massively, yeah, of course, because I mean 3 seconds if you're in first could literally drop you straight out of the points. That could be that. If you have, you know, 3 seconds more than, you know, the guys behind you, then you're going to drop right back, because at the moment, you know, 3 seconds is what a few sorry, quite a lot of, you know, cars, because a second, you know, within DRS range, that's quite a few car lengths at that. But at this, you know, when they're so close, it's going to be, you know, literally nothing. So yeah, as you say, penalties are going to be a huge factor in this race.
Just a thought. Whilst we're currently on the safety car, obviously I'll keep the stream up on board. Would you like to have a look to see whether what the penalties are as it currently stands, just to see who's sitting on penalties and who's not? Because we can obviously refer to that later on. That would be great.
So Henry has 2 warnings but no penalty as of yet. Carl has 2 warnings and no penalty as of yet. Good Aids has a warning, singular warning. Fuzz also has a singular warning. Sao Paulo has 4 warnings but no penalty. That's an interesting one.
That's lucky.
Shoan has served a stop-go. He's on 2 warnings also. Memo has a 3-second penalty. So Memo, currently running around in P7, has a 3-second penalty. I can only presume it's a 3-second penalty. JW has a singular warning. Dobby has no warnings, so he's the cleanest so far. Be Smooth, 1 warning. Also Tekken on a singular warning. Steffo has served a stop-go.
Safety car is in. Sorry to interrupt you there, mate. Safety car is in.
So resume. Oh, Carl's making a move straight away.
Carl's going to have a look into turn 1.
Is he going to make it stick? He's on fresh tyres as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is, I believe.
We'll just have a quick, because he's on medium, so I don't know if he's actually. No, he's not. So Carl has not pitted again. He's on the same mediums he's been on. Oh, Good Aids has made a move. Into P2 goes a Good Aids. Oh, and who's wide in the background? Was that one of the Renaults, maybe?
Fuzz has run wide as well, so that's allowed Sao Paulo to get within touching distance now.
Oh, and he's all over the place at the moment. Fuzz, he's not got temperature in those tyres quite clearly. The Ferrari trying to stick it out around the outside. He gets squeezed out by the Mercedes driver. And at this point, you don't want to lose a position.
Well, here we go then. Final 5 laps or so of the race.
Hopefully we won't get a safety car, because within the 3 laps I do not believe the safety car will come out. So hopefully it's race till the end for now.
Fingers crossed. This is what we're hoping for.
We can hope. Can only hope.
As we see, Good Age is really closing the gap now on Henry. I would imagine he's going to have a look, and to be honest, I think at this point as well, what's going to be beneficial for Good Age is the fact that Carl's behind him on older tyres, with people like Fuzzer and Sao Paulo behind him. Carl is not the easiest person to get past.
No,
so
I mean,
this could really benefit Good Age, as we see him extremely close to the back of Henry. Are we going to see a move down to turn 1? It looks like he's going up the side.
Yep, no DRS at the moment, so he will be relying on pure straight line speed. He goes for the move up the inside. He's going to make it stick. Henry is very aggressive, and it looks like he's just going to lose the position, and Good Aids has the lead of the Grand Prix.
Oh, there's a collision. Fuzzer and Carl.
Oh, that's massive.
Fuzzer and Carl.
Oh, Carl's lost his front wing as well. It's completely gone. So he's going to have to make a pit stop, so he's going to be right down at the back. Fuzzer, meanwhile, Fuzzer's gone. Wow. Wow. Very dramatic. This is going to promote a lot of people into point scoring positions. Be Smooth up in 8th place. Memo's got 3-second penalties, pretty much irrelevant at this point, unfortunately, because he's going to drop right out. But Shoan is in P4 right now. What a race he's had.
Well, Good Age is going to be jumping for joy at the moment. I would imagine Good Age will be looking now, providing all goes well. We've seen how strong he is. You know how strong he is, especially leading from the front. He's not easy to overtake. He won't make mistakes. So if he does, they'll come once in a blue moon. And with Fuzzer and Carl being non-existent now for the remainder of this race, it looks to me like it's going to be a Good Age win. He's going to take his 3rd win out of 3 in the championship.
Yep, definitely. I 100% agree with that one. It just doesn't look like Henry's got the pace at the moment. Has he got DRS? No, he hasn't. So it may not be operational yet, actually. But
no, it's not.
Sao Paulo behind. I don't know if he's going to be close enough. He's only 1.3 behind Good Aids. but with 4 laps to go, quite possibly this could be the top 3.
Quite possibly.
Dobby's back up into 6th. He's on super soft, so we shall be keeping an eye on Dobby because he's right behind his teammate Memo now, who actually has a 3-second time penalty, so he's going to lose the position regardless of if he gets overtaken or not. But Dobby being very cautious at this stage, which is surprising considering he's on the fastest tyre. Very, very cautious through turns 9 and 10. Is he going to get the run on Memo? His teammate has DRS. Now, if I were one of these 2 drivers, if I were Memo, I would let Dobby through. If I was Dobby, I'd be fuming that Memo hasn't already let me through. So it'd be interesting to see what these guys do. For now, it looks like the final position. Close. He is very close, and he's having to lift almost every corner to just try to keep out the back of his teammate. Quite slow there through that right-hander coming into this long straight again, and DRS should be active this lap, I believe.
Will Henry have DRS on good aids? That's the question.
No, he doesn't, but Sao Paulo's got DRS.
Sao Paulo's got it.
Is he going to have a look into turn 1? Don't think he's got the speed. He thought about it, but no. Oh, Henry's wide on apex though. That's going to cost him massively through this straight coming up into turn 4. Does Sao Paulo have the straight line speed? Does he have the fuel required as well? Is he going to have a look? He is. He's up the inside. Up into turn 4, but he's just got too much curb, and Henry keeps the position for now.
This is going to be one to watch by the end of the race.
Dobby's still stuck behind his teammate in 6th. Is he going to have a look down into turn 8? Oh, and he very nearly hit the back of his teammate there.
Just have a quick flick through the back of the field as we see 2 cars there, JW.
Yep, TUF getting the position. Pub getting the position. Sorry.
And now where is B Smooth? B Smooth has dropped all the way down to P13.
That is a shame.
And he's now looking for a move. He's got past NR, who he's currently ghosting with. Carl right behind him. Carl's in P13.
Just look at the gap that Good Days has pulled.
Yeah.
He is on one today. Since that safety car restart, and Dobby's got past Memo, so Dobby is up into P5 on those super softs. He's got 2 laps really now to and Carlsbury is just called it a day, I think. There
left the session, yeah.
Funky's up into the points now with Steffo just behind him, but it is this man Dobby right now that we're going to be watching, because he is going to be closing rapidly in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, and just looking as well, Henry seems to have pulled a slight gap on Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo had DRS them as well and didn't really get too close, so there's either been a mistake. I think I saw Sao Paulo go slightly wide towards the end of the final corner. I think we've just seen 2 cars go off there, unless that's me.
Was that down the back?
Yeah, no, maybe not. Maybe it was just something else that it looked like a couple of cars spinning off in the background, but I don't believe that is anything. No, it's not. I do apologise for getting everyone's hopes up there.
Dobby very close to the back of Showen now as well. It looks like he's going to get 5th, but nothing is set in stone. Oh, and he's had a horrible exit out of turn 10, and he's lost the position. That is disappointing, because he was racing very, very well up until that point. Having started right down on the back, he's had a brilliant race so far. Can he hold on to P5 now? But Dobby on the charge, he could quite easily get a podium here. He's got Sao Paulo and Henry within sort of a second or 2 in front of him, and he's going to definitely get DRS coming down the start-finish straight. And with only a lap to go, this could be a great race between these 3.
Certainly could be. Certainly could. I'm going to ride on board with Dobby here. And we're going to see how much speed he carries. Sao Paulo's going to really try and have to push now, because he's going to be aware that Dobby's behind him on the super soft tyres.
Tekken has just got past JW, and he is up into 8th place, so JW dropping back a little bit here.
Dobby's got a good run on Sao Paulo now.
Holding the inside though is the Ferrari driver. Has he got the grip on those tyres?
Coming out. She's going to be close. They're going to go side by side.
Oh wow, and he's managed to get right alongside. He's going to... Oh, he thought about it. moved his car to the inside.
As well, which was unfortunate.
I would put my money on Dobby getting past though. He does look much faster at this stage. If he can keep it clean and keep behind the Ferrari driver, he must be able to get past surely, even if it's down to the last corner, which could quite possibly be here.
Certainly could be. We'll go back to broadcast. I think Sao Paulo might just hang on to this.
Dobby is all over the back of him. Is he going to have a move? Oh, not quite, but he's forced Sao Paulo to go defensive. He's going to get a much better run onto the straight, but is he going to be close enough? The Sauber's closing ever closer. I just don't think he's going to be able to get close enough. Nope.
Is he going to take a dive? As you see, Good Aids celebrating over the line. Congratulations, Henry in P2.
Dobby desperately trying to get past, but it's not going to be enough.
Not going to be enough.
Oh, well, Sao Paulo's just dropped to 5th on my screen, so he must have had penalties. And indeed he did, so Sao Paulo picked up a penalty on the 24th lap. So that's really... Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame.
That's really unfortunate. I'm gutted.
Oh, that was really good racing as well. But Dobby will claim the final podium spot with Pub in 4th.
Wow. What a race that has been, with the safety cars, with some of the moves, we've seen some collisions, we've had a bit of everything today. So we'll just get the final classifications up in just a moment.
Can I say as well, big names missing out on big points today.
Yep. Fuzzer, Ice Cold Andy and Carlsberry in particular. We've seen another couple of retirements from Pagani and Sheo, which is really, really disappointing for those guys. As we see Good Aids for the 3rd time in a row in the Force India, stepping on the top row of the podium. Remarkable job from Henry as well in P2, and I believe with that with Dobby, which got up into P3.
Yep,
so
great job from those guys.
From Dobby so far. Yeah, he's gone from 2nd and 3rd place. He's got on the podium in both of his races so far. Congratulations, gentlemen. As we run through the field, finally, yeah, there's a few big names missing out some points here. So we've got Good Age who takes the win in the Force India. Henry in the Haas has got P2. Dobby's gone up into P3. Obviously after Sao Paulo had some penalties. We've got Pub in P4 who represents Haas. We've got Sao Paulo up in 5th place. Memo in 6th despite his penalties, which is fantastic news for him. JW in 7th. Lennon got up into P8 in his
McLaren. What a race from him. Outstanding from 19th on the grid to 4 points. That must be brilliant for him.
Exactly, and Tekken's got up into P9. Funky from P16's got up into the points. As I always said, Funky always just about manages to get in the points. Shone dropped all the way down into P11 because of 8 seconds worth of penalties. Be Smooth in 12th, NR in 13th, and we saw retirements from Fuzzer, Geordie, Pagani, Andy, Shea and Carlsberry. So just a final word, who would you like to name as your driver of the day today?
Well, purely because he started so low down, it's got to be Steffo or Lennon. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, from P19 right at the back to P8. Fantastic drive from him. Even though he made 3 pit stops, definitely a good race from him. Also a good race from Sao Paulo from 10th. But yep, Lennon is my driver of the day today. Great performance from him.
Fantastic, and I mean, obvious candidates would be obviously Good Aids for no penalties and get his 3rd win, but I gave it to him last time, so I'm not going to let him have all that glory again. So I'm actually going to give my driver of the day, despite obviously his penalties, I'm going to give it to Sao Paulo. I know he's finished in 5th place, but he started in 10th and he did effectively cross the line in P3. He had a really, really strong race. Henry's had a fantastic race as well, but I would give mine to Sao Paulo. Just despite his penalties, he would be standing up there on that podium. Yeah, especially from starting in 10th, he had a fantastic race.
Yeah, very unlucky.
But that concludes round 3 of the TUF Racing League. Hopefully we will join you again in Russia.
Yep, my pleasure. See you later, thank you.